If you have seen my latest video, which was the Frankly My Dear I Don't Give a Pan Project Pan update, then you will know exactly what this video is. This is a video where I will be refreshing my Franken eyeshadows. I mean, mostly. I will be doing a few other things. I'll be making a few Frankens that won't be in the project just to use for later. I will be just destroying some things for fun, and I will also just be doing things so that I can empty this guy out so I can just put this in my little empties bin and it won't be my storage anymore because it's so bulky, and this is literally all I have left in here, just these 5 shades. So before I get into any Frankening, I should just get the destroying out of the way so that I can use at least this pan. It just occurred to me this is a bit spoilery because I did film a declutter video and I don't think I've posted it yet. So these are 2 items I will be decluttering. This was a blush that I depotted from one of these pans. My explanation for decluttering it will be in that video. And same with this guy. So now that I have emptied out that pan, I can depot this Franken eyeshadow into here. First off, I have to repress this, and second off, I want this in this pan so I can use this pan for something else. Okay, so I had a bit of a break so that I could actually sanitize and clean all of the pans that I will be working on with some isopropyl alcohol. I also turned on a load of laundry, so I apologize if there is added noise in the background with that. I know there's already an echo because I'm in my kitchen. So now I can actually get to Frankening, and the first one I want in this space, I guess I'll move this, is with this shade right here. I'm gonna depot it just so it'll be easier to Franken. These aren't magnetic, so I won't even care about the pans. I'd like to pair this with this from my ColourPop In a Trance palette, that's what it is. I have just a few from ColourPop palettes that, these 3 I didn't really like the formula. This one, I basically have a dupe within another ColourPop palette. So, I basically brought what I knew. I have all my Frankens planned out, by the way. I'm that person. Okay, so this next Franken will be these 2. So it'll be like a bit warmer or something. And I probably will end up adding this as well. I think I'm going to try a different strategy though. I'm going to like mix it as a powder on here and then pour it in like I did for the brows, because what I tried earlier just was not the best strategy. I definitely made a mistake. Look how much eyeshadow I made. This is a problem. Alright, so I'm probably gonna cut most of that out, but I definitely made way too much of this purple. And so some of it's in this because I panicked. And so yeah, that's great. The strategy I used was certainly better. As you can see, it's much more smooth and well mixed. However, I it was a little bit more difficult to know how much to make, and I was wrong, but at least I got a color I liked. Okay, so these next two Frankens, I want to use these shimmers, but I want to like Franken them into something that's more of a satiny formula because I have a lot of shimmers in here. So this one, I want to use some of this shade to make like a rosy brownie crease color, I guess. I don't know. So I sprayed the alcohol into this, so hopefully it'll kind of settle into the alcohol and then it won't make a mess. I feel like every time I make a Franken, I have to try a new strategy. It's just tradition now. Tradition. Okay. Now, the last one for this palette, I'm curious to see how all these dry down. The last one will be this plus the shade Love Struck. Usually I like to Franken with my older palettes, but since these are so big, it's fine. I'm never going to use these shadows up anyway. Oh wow, okay. Whoops. I did not think I was gonna hit pan that easily. So I think I might just repress. No, actually I might repress that shade. Okay, so that is my palette. It is just difficult to tell how the shades are gonna look since these two are wet. I'm really hoping that they turn out looking more different. Cause I did use different colors, but we will see. But that is how it looks for now. I do like this purple I made. I'm just like, that's a lot of purple to work on. For these last two spaces, I want to use these two. I'm making a lot of purples today. I'm trying to figure out if I should add the blue to this. That might make it more distinct from the other ones I made, because I was thinking of just adding champagne, but we're gonna do these, and then this I'm going to combine with this really deep, it looks green in the pan, but it comes off basically black with some greenish glitter. So I'm thinking if I Franken them together, it'll actually make a nice deep green rather than just this kind of grayish black shade. So I repressed the middle shade just because it was looking weird, and I figured this will kind of fix it. And so that is my little trio. It's very like winter grungy forest, and I kind of love it. I will insert pictures of how everything looks once it's dried at the end. Before I do more Frankening, I am going to repress this contour shade since it has quite a big pan. Now that guy can go into his little home here for all my little project pan items. Now I think is a good time as ever to just completely empty out the last of this palette. These two browns I plan on using in my brows, but one of them I want to Franken because it is quite dark. This one right here, I think I can use on its own. So I'm just gonna repress it into this little magnetic pan. And then this one is the one I want to Franken. Now for this one, I want to lighten it a bit with the second shade in this NYX palette. It has sparkles in it, but I don't find that it really shows up when it's in the brows. Perfect. Okay, so now I have two backup brow powders since that guy probably will be done in the next 2-3 months. I'm very happy to have this out of my way. So goodbye, chunky boy. Now before I go Frankening any more eyeshadows, I want to work on my Franken contour. And I want to Franken it with this purple. It might sound a little weird, but since it's so like yellowy orange, the purple will hopefully neutralize it. Let me try to show you. See how that kind of makes it more of a just neutral brown, which will be much better on my cheeks than this, which is just very, very warm and not my preference. So I want to press it into here just for ease of use. Wow, I feel like I scraped off a lot and it's still almost to the brim, so that's a little wild. I think I can add a tiny bit more. Right, so this is my new contour. Hopefully the color works better, but it's definitely much more cool toned, and the swatches on my hand have just kind of stained and I don't feel like scrubbing them right now, so I washed my hands, but they don't look clean at all. Moving on to the last bit where I'm going to make some Frankens in these pans that I won't be working on immediately, but I do want to make the Frankens out of certain shades before I put them in projects later, and since I'm doing this now, I might as well do these as well. So I want to make two Frankens with this shade right here. It is like this bright creamsicle orange with like a bluish shift. And then I want to also Franken it with this pink just to make kind of a warmer, pinkier peach, just so it's not quite as orange, because again, I'm just not an orange girl. The next shade I want to Franken a few out of is this like bronzy olive shade. It's just not something I go for. Not gonna lie, not something I reach for a ton. I'd rather just Franken it so I won't have to use so much of one color. That's why I Franken. Sometimes I Franken because I don't want to use that color at all, but sometimes I Franken it just because I don't want to use so much of it. Like, I know I'll get sick of it after 20 uses or something like that. So I ended up refrankening that because it was just not very full, so I added a tiny bit more product, and now I have this cool brown. Nope, that's a green. I'm getting tired, clearly. Now that I've made my little Frankens, I'm going to repress this, and I think that means I'm done. This video is gonna be rough to edit, I know it, but hopefully I can make it not too long. So it is the next day, and this is the aftermath of all my Frankening. The major difference that happened in this palette was I decided to take out the shade I put in here because I felt it was just too similar to this purpley shade, and also I just needed a bit more warmth in this palette. So I put the shade that used to be here in this pan, and I Frankened it with a bit more pink and this champagne-y shade. And what was left over from this shade, I repressed into this pan, and I Frankened a bit more of this blue into it so that the colors would be more different and distinct. And these are the other Frankens in here, these two and these three. So I just tried changing the lighting a bit so I could show you the swatches of the 5 Frankens in there. We have this kind of beigey shade, this nice green, the purple, the kind of mauve-y purple, and then the pink. Also, when I decided to repress the Franken that was in one of these pans into this palette, I decided to just use the rest of this and add more of the champagne because I wanted to fill the pan a bit more. So this shade is in 2 Frankens, and once those are done, it will be completely gone. And this is my mini Franken palette. I made 2 new shades and then repressed this one. And here are the swatches. I didn't realize how different this was from the pink I have, so I probably should just start working on it because it's really pretty and unique. I really like this grungy vibe. This dark green I'm really excited to start using. This periwinkle kind of silver is also really pretty. And then I also swatched on my hand the Franken contour I made, which is in this compact, and hopefully it'll work well. And I think the most exciting Franken things I made is this palette. Even though I added only 4 new shades, it really transformed the whole palette. I did Franken this a bit with the remaining green, but it's pretty similar to what it was. But this palette just gives very different vibes now, and I'm not mad at it. So these are the swatches for the palette. Hopefully you can see the colors okay with this lighting. But we have that neutral beige on top. Then we have that nice peachy shade, the matte pink, the matte orange, the shimmery green, and then the new shimmery purple. We have a taupe shade. I was afraid that these 2 shades right here would end up looking identical because they kind of do in the pans. Luckily, swatched out, they look very different. This one's definitely a rosy brown, and this one is a nice warm purpley shade, and then we have the blue right here. I'm very happy that this is what I'll be working on for the rest of the year, and hopefully I can get some good use, get some of these out of my collection. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video. And I hope that it maybe inspired you to do some Frankening on your own. Maybe you had some things you needed to repress. Maybe you just like relaxing and watching people destroy makeup. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed this video and I hope that you have an amazing day. Bye!